Hey, Tommy for the Run Testers, and another versus with the New Balance More V5. This time I'm comparing it with the Brooks Ghost Max 2. Let's have a look. The New Balance More V5 costs £140 or $154.99. It weighs 306 grams or 10.8 ounces for men in a size 8, and the drop is 4mm. The Brooks Ghost Max 2 costs £140 or $150. It weighs 308 grams or 10.9 ounces for men in a size 8, and the drop is 6mm. The fifth version of New Balance's Max Cushion shoe receives a number of updates aiming to improve on the popular V4. The biggest of those is a new midsole composition using the same soft foam found in the 1080 V13 and a slightly increased stack height. To counter the updates, there's a noticeably wide base to ensure plenty of stability in the shoe. The More V5 also sees modifications to the engineered mesh upper design to improve both the breathability of the shoe and the padding around the ankle, collar and tongue, and the outsole sees a complete overhaul, with less rubber coverage, which does leave more exposed sections of the midsole. The More V5 also comes in 3 different width sizes. The Ghost Max 2 is a max cushion shoe focusing firmly on cushioning and comfort for daily training miles. Like the Ghost Max, it uses a wide base to provide a stable ride and combines that with a Glideroll rocker design to promote a smooth heel-to-toe transition for cruising through miles. The biggest update in the Ghost Max 2 is the new nitrogen-infused DNA Loft V3 midsole, working alongside the rocker to improve the softness and comfort of the ride, as well as decrease pressure in the heel and forefoot. The upper is made from a flexible, breathable mesh built for comfort and breathability, and there's a generous layer of outsole rubber for grip and to improve durability. The shoe also features raised sidewalls for additional support. Okay, so the fit for me in both these shoes, I'm a size 8 in the UK. These are both shoes designed for comfort. They're both shoes that have plenty of space in the forefoot, very comfortable uppers, plenty of padding, more padding for me in the Brooks Ghost Max 2 than the More V5, but both have a good level of padding and they're very, very comfortable to wear. I've had no issues in either of these shoes in a lot of running that I've done in them, and I would definitely stay to my size in both of these shoes. Okay, so let's start with the New Balance More V5. So the New Balance More V5 is a shoe that I've been looking forward to for quite a long time. I've been a massive fan of the V3 and the V4, and the More V5 has a few changes to it, which I was a little bit worried about when I heard about the new shoe, but I am a big fan of this. I've done a lot of running in it. You can see it's quite muddy because I've been doing a lot of my marathon training, longer sessions and easy runs and stuff in this shoe. The biggest change of this shoe is that it uses the same midsole foam design that is in the 1080 V13. Now in the 1080 V13, that midsole is very, very soft, and some people don't like that shoe because it is too soft. The problem with making it soft means that it is less stable, but also is not as good for longer runs because you end up sapping a lot of energy and it doesn't really give it you back. It's not like a bouncy midsole foam, it's just soft, marshmallowy midsole foam that sort of sinks you into the ground and just deadens the impact of the run. It's very nice for easy runs and recovery runs where you're not going too far, but if you were to do like a half marathon in it, you'd really feel the lack of any sort of responsiveness or bounce or energy return in that shoe. So I was a bit worried about the midsole foam in the More V5 because I thought if they're using the same midsole foam or a similar midsole foam design, I'm going to lose what I liked about the More V4. Thankfully, even though it does have this newer midsole foam, it doesn't deliver like the 1080 V13. And bear in mind, I love the 1080 V13. I just don't think it's very versatile, and I can see why some people don't like it. The midsole in the More V5, it doesn't feel like that midsole foam. It is it's denser. It definitely feels like you get a little bit more back from it. I have done about 90k in this shoe so far, and I've done a 3-hour run in it as part of my marathon training, and it just felt great. It didn't feel sluggish. It didn't feel like it was making me work harder to run in that shoe. I definitely wouldn't have done a 3-hour run in the 1080 V13. This felt great. I just didn't really think about it on the feet. It's just very comfortable. It rolls you forward nicely. It's not got the most pronounced rocker in it, but it has got a very comfortable sort of transitional design to it. So it's a shoe that if you put it on and go for a run, you're going to enjoy that run. That's why I like the More V5. I'll go out for a run, and I might not want to go for a run, but I'll take the shoe out because I know that it will mean that at least it's comfortable, and I'm not going to be out running in a shoe that is I'm not enjoying. So it's very much a comfortable, enjoyable shoe to run in, but it also gives you a little bit of energy return in it. Really like the midsole foam. It compresses really nicely and comfortably, but still gives you a nice transition and smooth run when you're out in it. So really big fan of the More V5, and the update to that midsole I think is a really good one. The Brooks Ghost Max 2. Now, I wasn't a fan of the Ghost Max 1. I just thought it was just felt like a really solid shoe, and I didn't feel like I was really getting anything back from it. The midsole was a lot firmer than what you'd find in things like the More V5, and as a result I just didn't feel like it was really helping me run comfortably. For easy runs it just felt a little bit too clunky for me, and for longer runs just didn't really feel like it was giving me anything back. So I wasn't a fan of the Brooks Ghost Max 1. The Brooks Ghost Max 2 has been updated a bit, so it feels different out on the run, and I like the Ghost Max 2 a lot more than the original version, so I do enjoy running in this shoe now. The midsole foam is a little bit more forgiving. It's definitely still a lot firmer than what you're going to get in the More V5. It's not the firmest midsole out there, but it's definitely, in comparison to the More V5, it's more on that solid, stable side of midsole foams, which is good for a lot of people. I think it's a shoe that's probably very accessible to new runners that are very just want to go out and tick off the miles and want something that's nice and solid and gives them a little bit of stability in the shoe, and that's a good thing to have in a shoe. I've not done as many kilometers in the Brooks Ghost Max 2 just because I don't enjoy it as much as the More V5, but the runs that I've done in it, I think it's a really solid shoe for easy runs, recovery runs, and longer sessions as well. I think a lot of people want a little bit more responsiveness from that midsole. They want a little bit more firmness in the midsole when they're running longer distance. This is a good shoe for it, and I think that I can't really give it any sort of bad comments about this shoe. I think it's very good for everything that it does. I think it really just comes down to sort of the midsole that you're looking for in those shoes. The outsole on both of these shoes, very, very good on the Brooks Ghost Max 2. There's a lovely layer of rubber on here. It's very tacky rubber, so it feels very sticky on the ground. And I've not had any issues with grip out on the Brooks Ghost Max 2 at all. There's not really a lot of exposed midsole foam either, but even so, that midsole foam's quite a sturdy midsole foam, so I wouldn't be worried about it anyway. The New Balance More V5 doesn't have as much rubber on the outsole. It's fine. These bits are fairly thick, but there's a lot of exposed rubber on there. As I said, I've done about 90k in the shoe so far. There are no signs of the exposed sections of the midsole having any issues, and the rubber's still holding up fairly well. It's rubbing off a bit around there because that's the main bit that I run on, so it's coming away a little bit there, but it's still looking pretty good after 90k, and I've had no issues with that. That's a more delicate midsole foam, so good outsoles on both of them, but definitely far superior on the Brooks Ghost Max 2. Okay, so my verdict on these two shoes, you can probably guess because I think I probably said it in the run section, but More V5 is the shoe that I'm going for just because I like a softer shoe. Even if I was going for the More V4, which was not as soft as the More V5, I'd still find it to be a more comfortable shoe and more enjoyable shoe to just sort of tick off the miles in a nice smooth motion. But the More V5 does that just a little bit softer. So for me, because I like soft shoes, it's going to be the More V5 all the way. I just found the shoe so enjoyable to run in for the type of runs that I've been doing in it. It's not the most versatile shoe in the world. You're not going to buy either of these shoes if you're looking for a really versatile shoe, but it's definitely for me the more comfortable shoe, especially if you like a little bit more softness in your midsole in your shoes. The Brooks Ghost Max 2, even though I haven't picked it as my shoe out of these two, I still think for some people it is better because it does have this more solid, sturdy midsole foam, a little bit more responsive because it hasn't got the softer midsole in it, and I think it's more accessible as well. I think some people, if you're a new runner, maybe you might get the More V5 and not quite enjoy the level of softness in there. It's not It's not an unstable shoe, but I'd definitely say the Brooks Ghost Max 2 is more stable. So it's a more accessible shoe for people, a bit of a safer shoe if you need stability, and definitely just feels a little bit more solid on the feet as opposed to the More V5. So it really comes down to that. But for me, and it's me doing the Versus, I'm going to go to the More V5 because of that comfort level, and I really like that new midsole foam in there. That's it from me on this Versus. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click that little bell. And if you go in the caption below, you can find a link to our podcast, which comes out a couple of times each month. Thanks a lot for watching. Catch you next time.